the Louisiana GOP, it's a Republican-dominated legislature, and it passed tax cuts on personal and corporate income in exchange for a statewide sales tax increase on Friday. But in a surprise to no one, it actually just helps the rich people. This is reporting we have from AP News. Critics warn the tax reforms would primarily benefit corporate shareholders and wealthy taxpayers, while the sales tax increase would exacerbate Louisiana's regressive tax system, where poorer households have a higher percentage of their income on taxes. And here is what they passed. Lawmakers approved a flat 3% individual income tax rate, leading to a $1.3 billion cut. Previously, the personal income tax rate had stood at 4.25% for people earning $50,000 or more. As part of the legislative package, lawmakers doubled the standard deduction for seniors and nearly tripled the standard deduction for individuals, effectively eliminating income tax on the lowest income households. Of course, they have to help the wealthy, so here is that plan. The state's new corporate income tax rate will be a flat 5.5%, reducing the highest tier from 7.5. Governor Jeff Landry had wanted a 3.5% flat rate. Louisiana's corporate income tax rate had been the highest in the South, according to the Tax Foundation. So let's not forget that regular people pay taxes on virtually every dollar that they make because they tend to spend every dollar that they make. Rich people, however, and corporations, they make way more than they spend. So this benefits them any way you look at it. But wait, that's not all. There's more. Republicans are looking to do more cuts. Louisiana Republicans said the measure advanced their goal of ultimately eliminating the income tax in the future. And in case you still weren't clear on who the Republicans actually care about protecting with all of this, here is what GOP Representative Julie Emerson said out loud. She said, income tax is a mandate. You have to pay it. You get punished for making more money, said Republican Representative Julie Emerson, who spearheaded the legislation. She argued consumption-based taxes were more fair. Sales tax is a choice, Emerson said. Sharon, is it a choice? Is consumption always a choice? I know we've talked a lot about financial disparities in this country and a lot of economic inequality. And a lot of that economic inequality dictates the ways in which people spend their money and the things that they spend their money on. So, I mean, I think this is, as you said earlier, a very privileged stance to take when you say something like consumption is a choice. It's not always.
No, it's about survival for some people. We learned that with the abortion issue, quite frankly. You know, people wondered why so many white women who polled in ways that were just so against what Donald Trump did, really doing away with Roe v. Wade, yet voted for him anyway. And I think it's a simple reason, because they can still afford to have the choice of abortion. They can fly, go where they need to go, get the care they need to get, while other people are dying in the waiting room or in the parking lot of these hospitals. So to utter the phrase consumption is a choice, it's akin to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, figure it out. And it's just not rooted in reality.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it is it's very short-sighted. It's very self-serving. And it says a lot about the way that Americans really just don't understand each other anymore, right? We don't understand the way that different Americans are living. And I think that was a great example you gave with the abortion issue. You know, certain things just aren't a problem for people, or they just aren't going to be a problem for people. Even if there are laws in their own state that are against them, it's still not really registering in their brains as that's a problem for me, right? And then a lot of these people, you know, empathy is like a whole other thing to them that's, you know, that's not even part of this conversation. But it kind of reminds me of Rudy Giuliani and how he was talking about, like, I don't have any cash, I don't have any credit cards, I don't have any this or that. He seems fine, right? He's not destitute. He's not living on the streets. He's still able to take a shower, put on a nice suit, and get himself to a courthouse to you know, yell at the judge, right? And that's what he was doing in there. He was yelling at the judge. He was yelling at his attorneys. He is still living an incredibly privileged life. And when he says that he has a little bit of cash that he's held on to, what is his definition of a little bit of cash? Some people have like less than $50 in their checking accounts and maybe little to no credit, right? So there's a very wide disparity as to the ways in which different Americans live their lives in this one country. And a lot of times, whenever Republicans are pushing forth these things and they say things like, oh, income tax, that's theft, or you're getting punished for making more money, a lot of people, even lower earners, people who don't earn quite as much, they still say, yeah, you're right, because that's aspirational for them. But in the meantime, it is hurting them and it's actually stifling their ability to get to a higher place in their lives. Final thoughts, Sharon, before we wrap up this hour.
I think you put it beautifully. What is stress? Stress, and I do believe Rudy Giuliani is stressed by his own doing, okay? But stress is not who's going to get my, souvenir Hall of Fame MLB rings and how do I keep my penthouse New York apartment or my Florida condo or whatever the heck he's trying to do. Stress is I don't know where I'm going to go and I don't even have credit to get a place to live. And I've got kids to feed. So the people making the policy are severely out of touch just by nature, but also by nurture. They want to be out of touch. They don't want to be curious. They're not like us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Members make a difference here at TYT. You help make the show happen, and we see you in the chat with your loyalty badge. Click the join button to become a member today.